Time is the scarcest resource we have, and most people waste it. This video is about how to think about your time like all elite performers do, how to buy it back so you don't waste it, and finally how to leverage it. Because we all have 24 hours in the day, but a few among us are able to achieve crazy returns per hour. And that is all a function of leverage. So take pen and paper and join me into this very tactical video that is going to change how you see your time. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing because we release some videos like these every single week to help you become an elite performer. My name is Castillo, founder of Selfmastered. By the way, I help entrepreneurs scale with peak focus, clarity, leverage, and self-belief. So, as I was saying, elite performers think about time differently than average performers. They understand how scarce it is, and there's whole industries that are built upon the concept of leveraging your time. Like, for instance, jets. Why would you like to buy a jet? It's never a function of showing off. It's not a status play. It's only a status play for those who have no status. For billionaires, for those that actually buy those planes, it's all about saving time. It's all about moving faster, not having to wait queues, not having to deal with the how uncomfortable economy travel can be. So time is the most scarce resource we have, and we have to learn how to leverage. And before I go into the very tactical stuff on how to buy it, let's define the three types of time that, in my view, exist, right? So we have growth time, or growth activities, right? You have maintenance activities, and then you have what I call shrink, right? So in essence, growth activities are making you become better. They're helping you move up your skills, your goals, your relationships. Maintenance things are things that keep you stable, that normally help growth activities, right? You still need to eat, you still need to sleep. And shrink are stuff that are making you worse, right? So that would be, I don't know, gossip, drugs, alcohol, all sorts of things. Maintenance is, maintenance is eating, sleep, all that jazz. And growth is whatever growth is for you, depending on your current career and business. That is, I don't know, studying, if you're a student. This is working on, if you are an entrepreneur or a professional. It is, cultivating relationships. So, this is the three types of activities that you can have at any moment in your life. Things that grow you, things that maintain you, things that shrink you. And the goal is to always spend as much time as we can in the growth category. The goal is not to do as much as we can across the board. No, the goal is to grow, consistently grow. Elite performers need growth like everybody else needs oxygen. If we're not growing, we feel we're stalling. And in life, there's no such thing as staying stable. If you're not growing, you're really decaying. So, elite performers are consistently focused on growth, and they delegate or automate as much as you can from their heating. So for instance, they will do meal prep, that's level 1, or they will hire a meal delivery service, that's level 2, or they would hire a private chef, that is level 3 of how to leverage your eating. For sleep, that's all about reducing sleep without compromising the quality of sleep. So there's folks that sleep 9 hours in a very suboptimal manner. They don't really access deeper stages of sleep, so they never fully refreshed. You can train yourself to sleep 7 hours and get plus 45% of restorative sleep. This is what we help a client achieve, right? This is the gold standard, right? Restorative sleep is REM sleep and deep sleep. REM sleep helps the brain wash out toxin and really helps the brain process memories and stuff. And deep sleep is what helps the body become better, right? So it repairs tissues and stuff. So what I'm trying to say is that the more time you spend growing, the better you'll be. The more time you spend maintaining, the more opportunity cost of the growth activities you're not doing, and eventually you will start decaying. So the goal is to not have any shrink activity, minimize the amount of time you spend on the maintaining activity, and maximize the time you spend on growth activities, right? But this video is not about this. This is level 1 of leveraging your time. You are an aspiring elite performer. You need more than this, and I'm here to deliver, so don't worry. All right, so we are focused on growth. We're focused on maximizing the 80-20 within the growth category, right? We already said we're not wasting time anymore, or we're really trying to not do it. So how do we find the 80-20 in growth? What are the things that truly matter? And this is how my framework of leveraging your time comes in. In order to do this effectively, we need to assign a dollar figure to your efforts. You need to understand that every task that you do has a different impact in the bottom line of your career, of your business. I'm going to assume that you are an entrepreneur. If you are an entrepreneur and you want that one-on-one help to max out your performance and achieve your goals in every 3 months, book a call with us, see your track record, understand how we help people, and start winning at life much faster. So as I was saying, we need to assign a dollar figure to every task in order to find what is the 80-20 that matters most. And this is where I have this concept of a value ladder, but for activities. So your goal is to understand that within growth activities, there are still a lot of things that you're doing that you shouldn't be doing at all. This is $10,000 an hour task. This is a $1,000 an hour task. This is a $100 an hour task, and this is a $10,000. And in this case, for an entrepreneur, this will be the prototypical is bookkeeping. This is the number one thing I tell all of our clients to delegate out, because it adds zero value to the business except keeping you out of jail, which is not a bad thing. But someone else can do it for you on the cheap. If you're doing literally bookkeeping, you are having a massive opportunity cost of the cost that you're not spending here, that you're not spending in $10,000 an hour work. On the $100 an hour work, I would put here, let's say, that will be probably sending emails. This can lead to good outcomes, but for the most part, they're just not worth it. Documenting stuff. Again, it's good to document stuff, but someone else can do it for you if you're the founder and the CEO. Or running, or doing entry-level interviews. If you're hiring people, entry-level interviews. Prototypical $100 an hour work, which is not the thing you should be focused on. The goal is that over time you ascend. And what is the next level? Well, the next level is publishing offers, doing sales calls, assuming that your price point is in the thousands, running paid media. This picture is different for every business, of course. I'm giving you the prototypical value ladder for tasks on the clients we work with, which are agency owners or e-com owners in the online space. And then finally, we have the most important thing, which is designing systems, coaching team members, and designing new offers. And maybe also partnerships here. Partnerships. The more time you spend on $10,000 an hour work, the more money you're going to be making at the end of the day. So your goal as an entrepreneur is basically to ascend, to move up the leverage ladder, to over time become someone who is working on $10,000 an hour task, because your team is taking care of everything else. This is how you need to think about leveraging your time. This is how elite performers do it. It's all about buying back time to leverage yourself and ascend in the leverage ladder. Does that make sense? Please tell me in the comments. It's very important that you get this right, because this is going to change how you organize yourself in business. If you're constantly working super hard on sending emails and documenting processes and doing all sorts of interviews for roles that you don't even need, you're not going to amount to anything, because you're going to be focused on the wrong thing. This is a good representation of how to embed leverage in everything that you do, right? The goal is that you design systems. Designing system is the most important thing for a CEO, coaching team members, and designing new offers on partnerships, right? Really, a CEO only has 3 jobs. Only 3 jobs. Design systems. So defining exactly what needs to be done, then hiring elite performers, hiring and coaching, and then assigning dollars and time to make it work. Right? This is what a CEO does. A CEO is not sending emails. A CEO is setting the strategy, designing the systems, hiring elite performers to manage those systems, and then assigning time and capital to make those systems work. This is the ultimate goal of every entrepreneur. This is what we help our clients do. Eventually design the systems of our business, hire elite performers, and assign time and capital to them. This is how you win in business. It's not through hard work. No. So how do you get there, right? So there is a process, and I'm going to be sharing it with you right now. So the process is, listen, this is absolutely bulletproof, so please pay attention to this. Pen and paper, start working it out. If you are not an entrepreneur and you are an executive, you can also do this. So there's no limits to what I'm going to be sharing with you, right? Let's assume that last year you had a total take-home revenue of $100,000. This is take home, right? Take home money. And this, if you're an entrepreneur, this is salary plus distributions. If you are an executive, this is just salary. It doesn't matter. Let's say that you have 100,000 take home in 2023, right? In order to calculate the current dollar per hour, how leveraged your time is, what we do is we subdivide it by the amount of hours that you worked. Let's assume you worked 2,000. 2,000 hours is basically 40 hours a week multiplied by 50 weeks. Let's assume you have 2 weeks vacation. 2 weeks vacation. Right? So if this is true, then your dollar per hour was $50 per hour in 2023. Everything below $50 per hour, someone else has to do for you in order for you to make money off that time. So how we look at this is, depending on the amount of money we want to make per person that we hire, we add a specific dollar value to that $50 an hour. So let's say that you want to find someone to take work off you, and you want to have a 2x ROI on your time. But then everything below $25 an hour, you delegate. And that gives you 2x ROI. This is how you over time ascend in the leverage ladder, because the goal is that you are able to discharge by delegating, automating the task, or eliminating the tasks that don't need to be done. Now, I understand that you may be thinking, yeah, but you know what? If I give this task to someone else, they're probably not going to do a better job than I could, because this is very common with the elite entrepreneurs that we work with. They'll say, no, you know what, I just rather do it myself. No, that is not the way to eventually become a CEO. So in this case, what you do is I create a mindset shift, which means that if something is 80% there, it's 100%. This is very important. If someone is able to do 80% of the same job that I could do, then to me that is 100%. And I do not bother for the 20% that is not perfect, because I'm optimizing for speed. I'm optimizing for leverage. I need to get things done. Now, it can never go below 80, because then is when you start having inefficiencies in your systems. But if you have 80% of the results for a lower price, that's golden. This is what you want. And then, depending on the complexity of the task that you are hiring out or delegating to, you may want to have a higher ROI per effort, right? If you have something that is very easy, you will do, as I said, a 2x ROI. If you want something that is very complicated, like funnel building, you may want to have a 4 times ROI. For the sake of the argument, let's just say that I want a 4x ROI. Okay, cool. But then I have 25 per, no, sorry, whoa, not 25. 12.5 per hour. Everything below 25 per hour gets delegated. And this is the path. This is how you move forward in business. This is how you win. Not by working hard, but by leveraging yourself harder. Find your last year's hourly rate and start creating a list of every single task that falls below that hourly rate. What are you doing right now that you should not be doing at all? If you are delegating out a $12.5 an hour task, getting a 4 times ROI, you are literally profiting $37.5 per hour because you find someone to take it off your plate. The profit literally per hour is $37.5. So even though that is, most entrepreneurs don't see it because that is not money coming into your account, but it's time that is not being wasted, right? So there's a dollar amount fixated to the time. In fact, you need to think of time of money as the way we price our time. But that is a whole different discussion. If you're interested in that, let me know in the comments, and I will make a video on how elite performers think about time and how can you move faster than anyone else around you, right? So your homework for today is to list out the tasks that you are now doing in your business that you shouldn't be doing at all. I'm assuming that all of this is growth, right? You're not wasting time gossiping. You're not wasting time on TikTok. You're not wasting time on stuff that is against the vision and the business you're willing to build. So if you're consistently either working hard or resting hard, which is what elite performers do, list all the tasks that you are doing on any given week and understand what is the intrinsic value of that task. Everything that is, depending on the returns you want, but if you want a 4 times ROI, everything below 12.5 hours, you can delegate. I normally use 2x ROI. That is the thing that I'm most comfortable with, right? So if 100K would have been my income last year, I would delegate out everything below $25 per hour, right? And I would go task by task, finding exactly what am I doing every single week, and more importantly, how can I find someone that can do that for me? Because in the end, business is a systems building game. I'm going to be paid, I'm gonna profit for the quality of the systems that I'm able to create, the quality of the people that I'm going to hire, and how good of a job I do at coaching them and giving them time and capital to make sure they operate those systems efficiently. This is how you win in business. It is not about working hard. It's about leveraging yourself to the max. Think about what is the dollar per hour that Elon Musk is having right now. Like, how could you calculate that based on how the stock price moved and his own retributions? It's going to be in the hundreds of thousands. His dollar per hour, which is why the only thing he's doing is managing his media, his press, taking decisions on the product side, and coaching the team that he has built at Tesla. This is how you buy back time like an elite performer, and then leverage it. It's all about leverage, folks. It's not about hard work. It's about leverage. So do this exercise. What was the take home in 2023? Subdivide it by the number of hours you work. Assume it's just 2,000. Let's assume that this is a calculation, $50 per hour. If you want a 4x ROI on your efforts, that's what some authors discuss. Everything below 12.5 needs to be delegated right now. I like to use two times ROI, so it should be $25 per hour. If this was my case, I would list every task and everything below $25 an hour, I delegated out. And I would, over time, ascend in the leverage ladder so that I end up being a fully leveraged CEO that only needs to think strategically, design systems, hire elite performers, and coach them and give them the tools to win together. I hope this was useful. Let me know in the comments, how are you going to be applying this? If you want one-on-one help, you know where to find, because we can go way more deeper than that, but out of respect of our clients, I cannot share it all. And of course, see you in the next video. Onwards.